From Seattle, Washington, Johnny Guenther. From Newark, New Jersey, Dick Downey. Two more of the world's greatest bowlers on Championship Bowling in a three-game match. From the Firestone Bowlerama Lanes in Akron, Ohio. From Akron, Ohio, it's Championship Bowling once again. This is Fred Wolf. Two more of our field of 24 of the world's greatest bowlers in weekly competition, a purse of over $70,000. This week, as usual, the winner receives $1,000. The loser, $500. 5 strikes in a row in any one game, the start of a $250 bonus. $50 per strike on top of the 5. For a 300 score, $10,000. All competition is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress. Now, each bowler makes 2 appearances. Total pins for the 6 games will qualify our 2 finalists for a $15,000 added purse during the final 2 weeks here in Akron, Ohio on Championship Bowling. Working with us this week, the youngster from Los Angeles, Ron Winger. Ron?
Nice to be here.
How are you? I know that you've appeared on Championship Bowling before. We have a couple of young fellas here that probably fall into the, well, they're a little older than you are. How old are you now?
20? I'm 22, Chris.
22. How about that? And a big star. You know these two boys pretty well, don't you?
Sure do.
Want to pick a winner?
Well, I can't say anything about that right now.
I'd rather not do that.
No, but the way they've been hitting them in practice, we should have quite a match here this week.
All right, let's see what happens. You go up there, and I'll be right with you, Ronnie. Let's meet these two boys from Newark, New Jersey, Dick Toothpick Downey. That's it? All right. I didn't make up that toothpick. Who hung that on you?
Well, there's a few more besides toothpick that you can use. Beanpole and stuff like that.
Beanpole?
Yeah.
Do you mind being called nicknames like that?
No, I don't mind it at all.
Doesn't bother your bowling at all?
No.
You know this fella here you're going to meet this week?
John, oh yeah, Big John. Big Bad John.
Big John, Big Bad John. Let's bring him out here. Johnny Guenther from Seattle, Washington.
Thank you.
Being a former winner on Championship Bowling, you're looking forward to the competition here in Akron, I
Certainly
suppose?
am.
Like to be a 2-time winner?
Love that,
All
Fred.
right. You got to get around this toothpick here before this is over.
Very
You
fine
all ready?
bowler. Ready.
All right, you boys shake hands. Akron, we're ready for the first game. Let's give them a little encouragement, and we'll be off. Johnny Guenther, Seattle, Washington, will start it off. First game of 3, Championship Bowling from Akron, Ohio. The Washington State match game champion. He's too high, leaves the 6th pin. Guenther, a former winner of Championship Bowling, the winner of the Winston-Salem Series. It was quite a series for the West Coast champion. Averaged .222 for 12 games. For 24 games on Championship Bowling, his average is .217. Great competitor. At the 6th pin, he covers. And here's Dick Downey. Most of the boys call him the toothpick, the beanpole. His name is Richard Alexander Downey. Newark, New Jersey. Too high. Oh, he almost kicked that 4-pin out of there. Setting that one beautifully. Dick Downey, born in Newark, New Jersey in 1938. Ron Winger, the young Los Angeles star, sitting in with us this week. Ron, how do you compare the styles of these two boys?
Well, Fred, there is quite a contrast between the two styles. You notice Dick goes up real nice and easy, and John Red goes up, takes short, real fast steps. And as far as the ball, they both throw about the same line, so
Very
interesting.
In watching Guenther, he takes about 4 steps there and no more than 6 or 8 feet of the runway, doesn't he?
Right.
Downey now moves to the left. Both boys with spares in the first frame. it's out there, and here it comes. He gets there and really shakes them up. Dick Downey from Newark, New Jersey. $1,000 to the winner, $500 to the loser. Both these boys will make another appearance, meeting a different opponent. From Akron, Ohio, Championship Bowling, where you see the world's greatest bowling stars in action every week. There it is. The 10-pin stops Guenther. Here's a boy that started as a pin setter back in 1951 when he was 18 years of age. He shot an 809 total for 3 games in sanctioned competition, which was the second highest ever shot in Pacific Coast history. Was quite a ball player, semi-pro outfielder. 10-pin, look out, John. Got it. So Guenther now moves to the left. Downey with a chance to take the lead. Downey works on a strike. Guenther on a spare. Would you recommend Ronnie steps as fast as Guenther takes? You notice he's up short, too. He's just about in between the 12 and 15-foot mark. And he gets 5 steps in there, all in a hurry.
Real fast ones.
I think he got in a few extra ones there. He's a little ahead of himself. The 1, 2, 4, 10. Now, the AMS spare maker that helps you convert these important spares so much more easily indicates the ball between the 1 and the 2 pin. That's getting across to the Brooklyn side. Let's see if Guenther can handle it. Going across, not enough, and he's open, leaving 2 pins. The 1, 2, 4, 10. And we like to call that a split. Dick Downey can really get a head start with a double here. He's on a strike. Guenther was open on a 6-pin count. Here it comes. He's in that pocket, and look at that action in the 7-pin stands. How do you explain that, Ronald?
Well, you can't, Fred. It's, I guess you can, they call it a tap. Well, I do anyway. I don't know what Dick is calling around, but
I understand some of the youngsters, and that includes you, the word tap seems to be out of the vocabulary now, the bowling vocabulary. They call it a rap.
Rap?
Is that what you call it out on the coast, or do you still call it a tap?
Well, we still call it a tap out there, or a rap, the same difference, I guess.
Rap tap. Anyway, you don't appreciate them. We're in the 4th now. Downey out in front, the margin, 17 pins. Guenther was open in the 3rd. 1, 2, 4, 10. Downey losing a good hit for the double. Right back in there. That could certainly have been 3 in a row. Actually, Downey had a 4-pin in the first frame, so he's had every ball in the pocket. Have to kick down some of those 10 pins, Sam. There we are. So Guenther now sets one beautifully, moving now to the left side. All competition moves from our right to the left. Each game starts on the left, the odd lane, in other words, lane 25. Then the other bowler steps up and bowls 2 frames. The competition continues throughout each game. In other words, as we like to say, bowling a game of offense. There is no defense. You're on your own. There's a double. Johnny Guenther now beginning to line them out. It's quite noticeable, Ron, that John is playing more outside on the left side, and on the right side here, lane 26, he's giving it a little swing room, it looks like.
He's letting it swing, Fred, on the right side there.
Downey's doing about the same. Oh, that didn't look that bad, did it? 4-7-10. Here's a fellow started bowling while working for the telephone company in an office league in Newark, New Jersey. He started bowling in 1956. He is open, and that gives Mr. Guenther now the chance to get back out in front. We're at the end of 5 of the first game. Guenther is 43 in the 3rd, working on 2 strikes. Downey open in the 5th with 88. We're in the 6th frame. First game. Downey back in there. This time leaves the 4-pin. That hit looked just about the same as the one he had the 4-7-10 on, Ron.
He definitely got a bad break on lane 26 there, Fred.
At the 4-pin, Dick Downey, the winner of the Latham Open in New York on the Professional Bowlers Tour in 1963, twice winner of the PBA Eastern Regional in New Jersey. John's high 3 games on Championship Bowling, 680. He's had 2 680 totals. Once at Northbrook, once at Winston-Salem. Defeated Ed Bourdet in the finals. Look at that. Beautiful ball and a beautiful line, and quite a study here in playing lanes the way he thinks he should play them. He's playing the right side very deep, reasonably deep, and the left side, where he is at the moment, our left, more to the outside around the second diamond. Have I got this about right, Reynolds?
Yes, you do, Fred. He's definitely lining it in on lane 25 and 26. He's just giving it that little extra room and letting it run in.
There it is, right over the second diamond. He's got another one. So Guenther now knocking on bonus money. He has 4 strikes in a row. We're in the first game, 1 more. We start him off at a $250 bonus, and Dick Downey, who had a lead of 17 pins in the 3rd frame, now finds himself 25 down. Hurry up in the 7th frame. So things can change in a hurry. From a lead of 17 pins to a deficit of some 25 pins in 4 frames. Dick Downey, Newark, New Jersey. Hurry, hurry, he didn't get there. Dick was a little afraid of picking, and he played it a little safe. He didn't cover the 2 pins as the AMF spearmaker indicated, and Mr. Downey has another open. So he's had 2 opens here on the right side. After leaving that 4, 7, 10 in the 5th, it looked like he gave that ball just a little extra room. Round these boys.
Overcorrected, Fred.
Overcorrection. And it's the story of this game when you're in trouble. So now he throws one back up there, and he has the 3-10. So you go from one overcorrection to the other. Well, they say that to be a good bowler, and I know you'll agree with this, that you've got to remember what you do each time on the lane that you bowl on. And all competition that is sanctioned by the American Bowling Congress must be cross-lane. He just went by the 3-pin. He's open again. So you must remember what you do to try to correct the situation. Johnny Guenther now, Seattle, Washington, the Washington State Match Game champion, a former winner on Championship Bowling, 4 in a row, goes for 5. Bonus money. He's got it. Nice ball. So Guenther now on 5, and this boy has really come back. In the 9th, on 5, throws, he's there. So Johnny Guenther from Seattle, Washington, giving the crowd here at Akron, Ohio, at the Firestone lanes a little thrill this week, as Downey now trailing by quite a few pins, throws one out too far and leaves a 1-2-8. So Dick seems to be completely confused. Guenther has about 70 pins going for him here in the 8th frame, and he's still working on a strike in the 9th. I think he's working on 6 of them, a chance for 253 with an open frame and a 6-pin count. There's trouble. So Downey now moving left. He gives Junie McMahon, an old friend of ours from years back and an ABC Hall of Famer, much of the credit for the start that Downey has had. There it is. He's got it. McMahon was Downey's early tutor, and he's done quite a job with him. He won the New Jersey State Match Game Championship twice. He's been the Metropolitan New York Bowler of the Year. Been a member of the New Jersey State Team Champions, and he was a finalist in both the World's Invitational and the National All-Star. And he's still a youngster, born in 1938. There's the double. Do you think that Mr. Downey has straightened himself out, Ronald?
Well, it looks like those last 2 balls were a lot better. He really got the lift on those last 2.
The count for 174. Guenther still a potential. 253. He still has a chance to pick up another $150 in bonus money. He's on a string of 6. 10 pin. Good spot for that. Guenther now on 6. Picks up a little dust from the sole of his left foot to absorb a little of the perspiration. Throws that inside angle. He gets there. Oh, he just got a piece of that. Well, that 6-pin was in the channel, and the neck of the 6-pin, as it was sliding through the channel, just reached up and nudged that 10-pin enough to earn Mr. Guenther another $50 and give him a chance for the $250 game. He has $240 right now with a 7-pin count. One more. That'll have to hurry. Hurry! He's got that nudger working pretty good there, Ron. That 10-pin was just nudged both times.
That's the kind you have to carry to really string him out, Fred.
I believe.
He's got that ball rolling.
I believe Al Savas of St. Louis calls that a fudge nudger. Did you ever hear that before? Well, I think that applies more to the 4-pin being kicked out. One more. Come on. $50 more. Yes, sir. Johnny Guenther finishing with 3, 4, 5, 6 with 9 strikes in a row and $450 in bonus money. And if it's getting hard to add up, Sam, we'll have to help you with that. This is Championship Bowling. Ron Winger, along with yours truly, Fred Wolf, from the Firestone Lanes in Akron, Ohio, the rubber capital of the world. We'll be back for the third and final game on Championship Bowling here in Akron, Ohio. Now in Conversation Corner, we have the leader of Girl Scout activities here at the Bowlerama, Mrs. Plakanica. And we've seen the Girl Scouts around the Bowlerama here. They seem to really enjoy themselves.
Yes, we come out here quite frequently on bowling parties, and the girls really do enjoy bowling. They love the spirit of competition, but at the same time, they just like the fun that they have. The girls really try hard. Some of our girls are just beginners, but they enter into it with the same enthusiasm that the girl who bowls in a league does.
Now, it's a little easier when you have a group, as the Girl Scouts are, to just turn the whole group into a bowling activity. It makes it a little easier than trying to organize something from scratch, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes, it does, Mr. Wolf. We plan to organize several Girl Scout troops into leagues this year.
Now, what age girl are we talking about?
Well, the girls in my particular troop are the 13-year-olds.
Well,
And they really have fun when they come out to bowl.
Well, we want to congratulate you for the fine work you're doing in Girl Scout bowling activities. Now, we'll be ready for the third and final game on Championship Bowling here from Conversation Corner in just a moment. Here are the scores for the first game. Dick Downey from Newark, New Jersey, 173. Johnny Guenther, Seattle, Washington, finishing with 9 strikes in a row, $450 in bonus money. His first game, $253. How about that, Akron? You like that? All right, we're ready for the second game. Dick Downey from Newark, New Jersey, starting off the second game, trailing by 80 pins. Guenther off with a great start, 253. Downey is in, leaves the 4-pin. He had 2 strikes in the 10th, left a solid 10, starts this game with a 4. Dick Downey, who looked very, very good in practice. In fact, both these boys were knocking the pins out of the back of the building, Ronnie. Ron Winger working with us this week here on Championship Bowling, the young Los Angeles star. Watch these boys work out. Looked like Downey was going to have a big day, didn't he?
Well, he was sure hitting them in practice, Fred.
So Johnny Guenther now, the Washington State Match Game champion, a former winner of Championship Bowling, the winner of the Winston-Salem Series in North Carolina, off with 253. He's on a string of 9 strikes in a row. Will it be 10? Yes, sir. Look out. Almost the 4-10. The 4-pin stops him. So Guenther picking up $450 in bonus money. For 5 in a row, $250. $50 for every strike on top of the 5. And 9 in a row comes out to $450. Look out, John. Oh, he's got it. And Guenther well on his way with an 80-pin advantage to winning the $1,000, which goes to the winner. Both these boys will make another appearance, meeting a different opponent. Total pins, so important. That will qualify our 2 finalists with a $15,000 added purse the final 2 weeks on Championship Bowling here in Akron, Ohio. Hey, look out, John. Guenther getting a little careless now. Hits the nose, the 4, 6, 7. He seemed to stay with that one a little too long, Ron. Well, Guenther was open the first game. He left the 1, 2, 4, 10, the washout here on the left side. So the left side is giving Guenther most of the trouble. He'll take 9. So he's open again, but he has a lot of room. If he can string out 9 in a row like he did the first game, he can get out of this game pretty big. It's not going to be easy. Downey now with a chance to close in. He's got 80 pins to pick up. Back in the pocket. Downey unable to shake him up. He has the 5-pin up there. On the 64 Winter Tour, Downey was runner-up in the Jacksonville Open, runner-up to Carmen Salvino. He was runner-up in the Baltimore Open to Tommy Tuttle. Both Salvino and Tuttle are in our field here. 24 of the real great stars in the bowling game today. The great professionals of this great sport. It's great fun for everybody. The one sport for everyone. We're in the 3rd. Downey's picked up 12 pins. The margin around 68. Big turn. There it comes. Oh, man, he got out there with that.
He felt that one.
Well, he walks back very casually, puts his hand in his pocket, just like he might have missed a 5-pin or something. If I threw a ball like that, Ron, I'd be jumping out of the building here. Johnny Guenther now, who has an open, and probably will start playing it cozy. Oh, he's high again. Look out. He broke it up. 6-10. Johnny beginning to push them up there now. So relaxed with 9 in a row. Suddenly, what happens, Ronnie? Here's a fellow who's been throwing them out, bringing them back. Now he's starting to crowd the head pin.
Well, Fred, he seems to be fitting the ball now. Instead of giving it a room like he was before, he's trying to jam it in there.
Careful. And there's a miss. So Guenther now getting into trouble, and Mr. Downey is not out of this yet. Guenther had a lead of 80 pins. If Downey comes up with a couple of strikes here, in his turn on the lanes, he can chop that 80 pins right in half. Well, he was wide open there. In the second, he didn't want to hit the nose again. This time, the overcorrection, the 2-4-5. All of our championship bowlers are outfitted in the famous King Louis bowling shirt. And, of course, they're all wearing the King Louis blazer, including yours truly and Sam Trophy, our statistician. 2-4-5. There's the cover. So Dick Downey now, the youngster from Newark, New Jersey, whose wife, Rosemary, averages 140, steps in on the right side. And in 1963, Dick informed us that he got a hole-in-one. He loves to play golf, like the rest of us. Come on. That's it. There's number 3. So this youngster, as we assumed, could explode at any time, and I think he's beginning to explode right now, Ronnie. Do you agree?
He's a different bowler altogether this game, Fred.
You think it's possibly because Guenther got himself into a little trouble? This sort of inspires you, doesn't it?
Well, it gives you that little incentive.
If he gets this one, he can have over 45 pins back. Go! 10th pin stops him, and he can't afford too many of those. That looked like a good hit. So Downey stops at 2. He's had a 4-pin, a 5-pin, a double, and a 10-pin here in the second game. We're almost halfway. Johnny Guenther, who finished the first game with 9 in a row for 253, unable to hit the pocket here in the second game. Help support Radio Free Europe's truth broadcasting into Iron Curtain countries. Send your truth dollars to Radio Free Europe Fund, Post Office Box 1964, Mount Vernon 10, New York. That's better. 10-pin now. So Johnny, unable to kick him loose, he kicked that 10-pin out of there in the 10th frame of that string in the first game beautifully, just nudged it both times. It looked like about the same hit, didn't it, Ron?
Exact same hit. Seems to be a little tighter by my calculation here. I think he's drifted in a little bit. I don't know. What do you think about that, Fred?
It looks like he's a little deeper on 26 than he was. So at the end of 5, we're exactly halfway. It's Guenther, 54 spare. Downey is 88 spare. Johnny Guenther, Seattle, Washington, trying to hang on to that 80-pin advantage. That 80 pins has now shrunk a bit. It's down to 46 pins. We're in the 6th frame of the second game, and that's a little better. Now, what did you notice there, Ronnie, that John hasn't been doing this game?
Well, Fred, it looked like he stayed with the ball longer. He was a lot slower. It just followed through a lot better. Just the shot that he was doing the first game.
Yes, he seemed to get that ball well out in front. Good straight line. Be careful. Little high, 4-7. Dick Downey, the toothpick, they call him, from Newark, New Jersey. Was a member of the Fresno Bombers in the National Bowling League in 1962, along with 3 members of our field, Bill Bonetta, Ed Bourdet, and Vern Downing. Had quite a team out there. There's the cover. So Downey now, 106 with a spare in the 6th. Guenther is on a strike. So Johnny has room not only to get more bonus money here in the second game, but he has enough room, if he can straighten it out, to pull this game out. He has 74 in the 5th after opening with 253. Better. Downey beginning to look like he may break loose at any time. So for Dick Downey, 126, he works on the big strike in the 7th as Guenther moves in the 7th, working on a strike. Gotta hurry. He gets there. There's the double now for Guenther, who could just about pick himself up here by the shoot tops if he can get out of here with another chance, of course, at bonus money. Give him 74 in the 5th, and if you just strike him out, Ronnie, you know how to handle it. If you just add 150, it's very easy. And that'll be 224, and what a finish that would be.
Just like the first game.
Yep. We're in the 8th. Johnny Guenther, Seattle, Washington. Dig it, boy. There it is. There's another one. So Guenther, who just got lost for 5 frames, suddenly comes back with us. He finished the first game with 9 in a row. For 4 frames, he never hit the pocket here in the second. Downey is back. So Dick stays with him. So at the end of 8, Downey leading in this, the second game, by 22 pins. The margin is 58. Guenther out in front. And Johnny needed that triple because Mr. Downey's beginning to close in. The New York State Match Game Champion against the Washington State Match Game Champion, and there's another one. Well, the boys are really lining them in, Ronnie. So Downey now is on 3. Guenther is on 3. Johnny will bowl out first. He's in the 9th on the right side. If he gets this one, he has a chance for bonus money again. 9 in a row gave him $450 in the first game. Look out, too high, too high. 610. Seemed to drift a little left, Ron, from where I sit. I guess Johnny knows he did something. He's a little unhappy with the result of that. A 610 on a triple. That'll give Downey a chance to go all the way for 246. Cross lane, 610. Guenther missed this one on this same lane. Earlier in this game, he covered at that time, as the AMS Sparemaker indicated, the easy way to make the spare, and really the only way, hit both pins with the ball. We're in the 10th. Downey has some 34 pins as we go into the 10th frame, and Downey is on a triple. Guenther going in on a spare. Johnny needs a double for 200. There's the first one. All right. So Guenther, who looked like he was in trouble, never hit the pocket for 4 frames. He finally left the 10 pin in the 5th, came back with 3, then threw one high, left the 610 back in the pocket here in the 10th. A 202 will put him in good position with 1 game to go. He'll have 450. Pick up a 220 or better the last game. We just could see this fella as a finalist. Hurry up there. He doesn't get there, leaves the 2458. Johnny didn't give that one very much, right? Seemed to be out of his hand.
Didn't seem to get the lift on that one. Just like you say, it sort of slipped out a little bit, I think.
Very quick-like. That can get him in trouble. He covers for 192. For Guenther, 253, 192. That's 445. Downey with a chance now for 246 and bonus money. He needs 2. He's on 3. The turn, the set. He's there. That's number 4. So the youngster from Newark, New Jersey, roaring back. Dick has appeared on Championship Bowling twice, total of 6 games. His average, 201. His high single has been 238. He can break that right now with this strike. Bonus money, 250. Set it! Set it! 4 pin. Oh, he seemed to side wheel that one a little bit, didn't he, Ron?
Sure did. He's been close all through the game, though, Fred.
In fact, I thought he was going to be right on the nose. That ball just hung all the way down. Looked like he might get a break on it. So $250 in bonus money gets by Dick Downey from Newark, New Jersey. A very fine game of 235 for Guenther, 192. Fred Wolf, along with Ron Winger. It's Championship Bowling, television's #1 bowling show from the Firestone lanes in Akron, Ohio, home of the Professional Bowlers Association. Here are the scores at the end of 2 games. Dick Downey, 173 and 235. His total is 408. For Johnny Guenther, 253 and 192. The total, 445. The margin, 37 pins. Guenther out in front. You ready, Akron, for the 3rd and final game? All right. Johnny Guenther, the Washington State Match Game champion, out in front, 37 pins, starting the 3rd and final game. $1,000 to the winner. Guenther throws. He is there, and he leaves the 4 pin on a pretty good hit. Well, that's the way he started the last game. Ronnie started with a 4 pin and then went 3 frames, throwing the ball all over the building. A wide open split, a 610. He broke up a split, a 245. Finally caught himself a triple for 192. At the 4 pin, Dick Downey from Newark, New Jersey, trailing by 37 pins as Guenther covers the spare and the toothpick moves in on the right side. attended St. Charles High School in Newark, 2 years at Seton Hall College in business administration. His business now, a professional bowler. Too high, the 4-7. Dick develops a very large callus on the back of his thumb, which he says is normal for him. Some of us worry about those calluses on the back of the thumb, don't we, Ron?
Sure do.
Doesn't bother Dick. So both boys now with spares. We go into the second frame. Both boys thinking of total pins, whether they win or not. Actually, you could lose both matches and still make the finals. Pinfall is important. Downey reaching out. That'll get there. Oh, man, he threw that one. There was a great delivery.
Beautiful.
John, wouldn't you say? Johnny Guenther, the golden boy from the West Coast, the Pacific Coast. Very popular on Seattle television. That'll stay there. Another 4-pin. Well, it looked like he wouldn't make the nose, but the ball moved just a bit at the last moment. These pins are not easy to knock down, I'll tell you. They're brand new. Look out, boy. Okay, he's got the spare. So Guenther now moves to the left. We have many people ask about the pins and the lanes. The lanes are reconditioned for every match each week. The pins are AMF registered tournament grade pins. They're hand selected. There cannot be, and there is not, more than 1 ounce variation in any one set. They're matched weights, and each set is registered, has a registration number. Quite important. Guenther, this time carries. So Johnny's had 2 solid 4s, comes back with a strike as Downey moves in on the right. Dick is on the strike. He trails by 36 pins. He could cut that margin down to 26. Too high. Look out. Almost. Boy, got some peculiar action that time.
Almost got away with it, Fred.
At the 7, Downey covers. Johnny Guenther still hanging on to 36 pins with 7 frames to go. Downey is a firm believer in long practice sessions, at least 15 games at a time. Nothing less. Get up there. Oh. Solid 7. What do you call that, Ron?
That's what you call a wrap, Fred.
A wrap. Well, they keep telling you that the only tap in bowling is a solid 8-pin. I would have to disagree when I see one like that, because you couldn't hit the pocket any better than that. There's the spare, and a bad break for Dick Downey, who certainly could have something going for him, as Johnny Guenther moves in now on the right side, on a strike, and he can add 10 pins to his margin. Get it up to around 46 pins with this strike. That'll have to hurry. He doesn't get there. The 2, 4, 5, 8. They call it the bucket. The AMF spare maker indicates the ball between the 2 and the 5, and hope that it'll go on through and take out the 8-pin. The magic triangle pindicator giving you the pin numbers. The spare maker indicates the easiest way to make the spare. Look out, John. There it is, right through. Very fine eye. So Guenther does not lose any pins in counts. He was on a strike. Both boys now 59 spare. The margin still 37 pins. Guenther wasn't too far off with that one, Ronnie, because he didn't want to be high.
No, he just didn't seem to get the proper amount of lift on that ball.
That'll set. Oh, look at that. So just about possibly a half-inch more of the pocket here on the right side. Johnny could have had a shaker that might have given him the three-bagger that he needs to get that total up to around 675. Dick Downey now moving in on the right. Dick's going in with 408. Trails by 37 pins. The 7 pins still up there. A lot of action, but nothing touched the 7. Sometimes it looks like that 7 pin is about 4 inches too far back there, doesn't it, Ron?
It has in this last couple of shots.
That's 3 7 pins in a row for Downey. There's the spare, so at the end of 5 frames to go in the third and final game. Johnny Guenther, 79 strike. Downey, 78 spare. Hurry up. Oh, there he got the action. No 7 pin that time. Oh, that 7 pin was long gone that trip. So Downey, who started with a 4-7, a little bit on the high side, not too bad, then a strike, then 3 7 pins, and now he carries one in the 6th as he watches his opponent, Johnny Guenther, in the 6th, and Johnny is on a strike. And look out, 4 pin again. Well, that's 3 4 pins for Guenther. Just a bit tight. Started with a 4, came back with a 4, then a strike. He got a little careful. He had the 2 4 5 8, the bucket here on the right side. He pointed that one up probably just about a board or a half a board, Ronnie, and he was too high and left another 4 pin. The first game, 9 strikes in a row. Everything went beautifully. Now Guenther having trouble buying a strike. You know, one reason why we urge you folks to go bowling once in a while, aside from the fun you get out of it, is that it's good recreation. Now, this is especially true for you housewives. It's natural and advisable to seek diversion for a short time while the kids are in school, maybe. And it's just as important as that coffee break to you working gals. Why don't you take a break from your daily routine? Get out, bowl. It's great fun. Oh, look at here. Guenther's still in that pit. Could have at least a turkey. That 4 pin between 2 strikes. So Dick Downey, the thin one, the beanpole from Newark, New Jersey, has got to make his move right now. He trails by 38 pins. He's on a strike. He needs this one. He's there. He leaves the 10 solid, and that makes it a little difficult. What was wrong with that one, Ron?
I couldn't see anything the matter with that one, Fred. It's Dick is just having a little tough luck out there today.
There's the cover. Downey walks away from it. So he has a spare, and that's a tough break for Downey. He had 38 pins to pick up. That strike would have cut it to 28. One mistake by Guenther, and Downey could still win this one. 3 frames to go. The margin still 38 pins. Guenther out in front. John is on a strike in the 7th. Here's Downey in the 8th on a spare. Throws it up there and carries another one. And boy, that could have been a turkey. That's putting 3 balls in that pocket pretty good. As a matter of fact, Downey hasn't been out of the pocket this game. A little tight 4-7 in the first frame. A strike, 3 7 pins. A strike, a 10 pin solid, and now another strike. Guenther's been in all the way. The bucket, he was just a little short. This time, he is there, and there's the big double. And that gives him about 48 pins now with 2 frames to go, and that just about put the finishing touches on Dick Downey. But Guenther now kicking around 239, and that would give him 684. He still has room for bonus money. We mentioned that John has had 2 680 totals on Championship Bowling, one in the Northbrook Series, one in the Winston-Salem Series, and he's knocking at another 680, and there it is, and now he sits on 3, and a chance, of course, for bonus money. This has been quite a game, Ronnie, if you are paying much attention, and I'm sure that you are. We haven't had a ball out of the pocket outside of that bucket, and certainly that wasn't too far out.
Real fine bowling, Fred, all the way.
That'll never get there. Well, we shouldn't open our big fat mouth. Downey just missed the head pin, the 1-2. And for Dick, that was a big ball because all the way would have given him 228. He could have checked in with a nice 630 series, which would put him in contention. He's going to have a pretty big one his next time out. For Guenther, Johnny sitting on a 230 game. He goes in with 445. So Johnny has a 680 total at his fingertip. Plus he has room for bonus money again if he can get the first 2. Downey in the 10th. And he gets the first one. A chance for 208. And here's a fella that does not have a double. He threw one ball out the window, left the 1-2, and converted it. 3 7-pins, a 10-pin, and a 4-7. That's a pretty strong. And there's a 4-9, and that was in the pocket. What do you do, huh?
Oh, in a case like this, I think I just bunt.
Pack up and go home. Well, we haven't seen that one before, the 4-9, and of course you can't get that unless you hit the pocket. Of course, that ball was moving. So 197 without a double, assuming he gets 1. He may go for the 2. Well, he misses him. 196 without a double for Dick Downey. And that gives him 604. So all eyes in Akron, Ohio are on Johnny Guenther. Championship Bowling, where you see the great bowling stars every week. Dick Downey, the Newark, New Jersey champion, New Jersey match game champion. Here's the Washington State match game champion, Johnny Guenther, going for 680. 4-pin stops him again. That's the 4th 4-pin this game for Guenther. .218 will give him 663. Now, Guenther had 9 strikes in a row in the first game. He started in the 4th frame, went all the way. No signs of a 4-pin at all. In fact, he was just tickling that 10-pin out of there. This game, it's the pins. He's had 1 ball actually out of the pocket, and he left the bucket. And he certainly wasn't far from a shaker. He started with 2 4-pins, a strike, the 2-4-5-8, a strike, the 4-pin, a triple, and now the 4-pin in the 10th. Once more he's in the pocket, and once more he leaves the 4 and he matches it. He's got the 9 with it, and that's the way Downey ended it. So the boys have shown us certainly here quite an exhibition in pocket shooting. We'll check these totals out, have a word or two with these 2 boys. Championship Bowling from Akron, Ohio. Fred Wolf along with Ron Winger from the Firestone Lanes here in Akron, Ohio, where the World Series of Golf is played annually. Here are the scores. Dick Downey from Newark, New Jersey, 173, 235, 196. His total 604. For Johnny Guenther from Seattle, Washington, 253, 192, and a 216 finish for 661. Did you enjoy this one, ladies and gentlemen? Well, Richard, like they say, you've got to have heart.
That's right, Fred. I'll tell you, I didn't enjoy it too much. Maybe they did, but I didn't. That's
Well,
a funny thing, but boy, when I practice, I never get tapped. Never get tapped. But when the show starts, I don't know what happens. They just don't go down on me.
No way you can explain it.
No.
You don't think maybe you're pinching the ball a little bit or something?
Well, I might be working under a little bit of a handicap. No talent, but...
No talent?
I don't know.
Maybe that Green Hornet there didn't work so good in front of the television cameras.
Well, it's not the ball's fault.
Not the ball.
Just don't know.
You don't know. John, can you explain why he loses so many hits?
Oh, he hit the pocket real good, Fred. I really can't explain it. I
told him this after the match, that I thought he hit it as well as I did, except that I carried when I hit the pocket.
Of course, you had 4 pins the last game. You know that.
Well, I think I was getting a little more fingers in the ball, lifting a little harder, and coming a little bit higher.
But you had 9 strikes in a row in the first game.
Hey, that's wonderful.
$450. $1,000 is the winner.
Thank you very much.
And we just may see you around here in the finals again.
I hope so. That'd be wonderful.
Let's give them both a nice hand, ladies and gentlemen. 2 fine young stars. Sure hope you can join us again next week here on Championship Bowling, television's #1 bowling show from the Firestone Bowlerama in Akron, Ohio. You see the world's greatest bowlers in match game competition every week, $70,000 in prizes. So until next week, this is Fred Wolf just saying, keep 'em bowling out there. It's great. Matching shirts and slacks used on Championship Bowling by King Louie. Championship Bowling is sanctioned, and we wish to thank AMF for their cooperation in helping us boost Championship Bowling.